Hello class, a very good morning to all of you. So class, in our today's session, we are going to discuss about the Himalayan mountains and the different ranges it is having. Now let's begin with the session. So class, as we all know that Himalayan mountains are young and structurally fold mountains which is stretched over the northern borders of India. So this is the thing that we are aware that they are young, as well as talking about their structure, they are fold mountains which is spread over the northern borders of the India. Now furthermore, these mountains ranges run in a west-east direction from the Indus to the Brahmaputra. So the direction in which the mountain ranges run is the west to east. Okay, so they run from west to east direction, and talking about the direction of the river, that is from Indus to Brahmaputra. Now the Himalayan mountains represent the loftiest and one of the most rugged mountains barrier of the world. So class, if we talk about Himalayan mountains, they are very strong, they are very giant mountains, and they represent it. Like if we talk in terms of history also, no enemy of our was able to enter from this side, because they are very tall, they are very giant, that no one will do so much of hard work to climb those mountains and then attack. So in the history also, no enemy of ours was able to attack us from the Himalayan side, because they are very strong, they are very giant, and they acted as a barrier for India through the world. Now talking about the distance, so they covered the distance of about 2400 kilometer. So this is the distance that they are covering, and which is 2400 kilometer. Now talking about their width, that how much broad they are or how much narrow they are, so it varies. Likewise in Kashmir it is 4000, and in Arunachal Pradesh it is 150. So you can see that the broadness also varies from one state to another. Next, talking about their altitude. Okay, so they also vary. Like in the east side, okay, they have a greater altitude rather than with the western side. So in the east, if we talk, the peaks are taller, okay, as compared to the west. In west there are very small peaks compared to the east. Okay, now the Himalaya consists of 3 parallel ranges in the longitudinal extent. So how many parallel ranges does the Himalaya consist? That is 3 parallel ranges, and we are going to discuss that. A number of valleys lie between these ranges. Now we have different valleys, okay, that lie between these ranges. The northernmost range is known as the Great or Inner Himalayas or the Himadri. So we have begun with the first range, and that is the northernmost side. Okay, so it is known as Great or Inner Himalayas or Himadris. So this is the name by which the northern, okay, this side is called as Inner Himalaya or the Himadri. Now this is the most continuous range consisting of the loftiest peak. So loftiest in the sense they are the most giant. Okay, this consists of the most giant, like you can talk, if we talk about, they have the most giant, okay, in the sense, see, they have the most giant and strongest, and plus they are continuous. There is no gap, there is nothing, they are just totally continuous, and their average height is 6000 meters. So if we talk about the average height of the Himadri, it is 6000 meters, plus they contain all the prominent peaks of the Himalaya. So we have all the prominent peaks. Prominent means most important peaks of the Himalayas are there in the Inner Himalaya, or we can say Himadri. Next we are talking about them. the fold of the great Himalayas are asymmetrical in nature, means they are not symmetrical, they are not proper. Okay, so you can talking about the fold if we are talking in the terms of structure of the great Himalayas or the Himadri, it is asymmetrical in nature. Plus the core of this part of Himalaya is composed of granite. So now talking about the core, it is made up of granite. It is perennial snowbound and number of glaciers descend from this range. Perennial snowbound means it is having snow entire the year. Throughout the year you can see that the Himalayas are filled with snow, and the core of the Himalayas are made up of or composed of granite, and number of glaciers descend from this range. So as it is entirely snow covered, so we have number of glaciers here. So in the image also class you can see that is the stretch. This is the entire stretch of Himalayas, that is the in the northern, and you can see this is the entire stretch of Himalayas. Now talking about the second, okay, the second most important range of Himalaya, which is lying to the south of the Himadri, and this is the most rugged in the sense it has most harsh mountain system, which is known as Himachal or Lesser Himalaya. So the second we are going to talk about is Himachal or the Lesser Himalaya. Now talking about ranges, or they are mainly composed of highly compressed and altered rocks. So you can see that they are made up of, or they are composed of highly compressed and altered rocks. Now talking about their altitude, okay, their altitude also varies between 3700 meter and 4500 meters. So in terms of their height, they can be from 4500 and between till 3700. So their height can be varies between 3700 and 4500 meters. And furthermore, if we talk about their width, if we talk about their broadness, it can be up to 50 kilometer. So you can see that their height and width also varies. Now talking about their important ranges, so while the Pir Panjal range forms the longest and the most important range. So it is the Pir Panjal, okay, as we all know that Himalayas have lots of mountains. It is not a single mountain which we call them Himalayas, it is the range of the mountains, and in this range we are talking about the Himachal or the Lesser Himachal, in which Pir Panjal range, okay, talking about Pir Panjal range, it forms the longest, okay, longest if you talk about the longest and the most important range. So the most important and the longest range of Lesser Himalayas is Pir Panjal, then the Dhauladhar and the Mahabharat ranges are also prominent one. So most important is Pir Panjal, then we have Dhauladhar and the Mahabharat ranges are also important. So these are the names of the ranges of that is found in the Himachal or Lesser Himalaya. Now we all know that they have valleys. So Kullu Valley, which is very famous in Himachal Pradesh, it is found here, and this region is very well known for the hill station. So class, people across the country visit hill stations like Kullu Manali, which is there in Himachal Pradesh. So they also have famous valleys of Kashmir, the Kangra and the Kullu Valley in Himachal Pradesh. So these are the name of the famous hill stations which is there in Himachal or Lesser Himalaya. So you can see in the map, this is the entire Himalayan range. We can see that there is the entire Himachal range in which we can see about Shivaliks. So there is the entire what you call Himachal Himalayas. Now talking about the outermost range of the Himalayas are called Shivaliks. So if we go back to this, the outermost, if we see this in the book, it is called as Shivalayas and it is the outermost range of the Himalayas, And talking about their width, so they are extended over with the width of 10 to 50 kilometer. So they are not that much extended, or not they have too much of broadness. And talking about their altitude, so it also varies between 900 to 1100. So you can see the altitude, the height, that between from 900 till 1100 meters. Now talking about these ranges are composed of unconsolidated segments brought down by the rivers from the main Himalayan ranges. So we have discussed about 2 Himalayan ranges. Okay, so these ranges are having rivers. So when these rivers come down here, so they brought some unconsolidated, in the sense they brought some stones with them, okay, with to these ranges, and because of which these mountain ranges are covered with thick gravels are the stone, and alluvium. So they are covered with thick gravel and alluvium. Now talking about the longitudinal valley, okay, longitudinal valley between lesser Himalayan and Shivaliks are known as Dans. So these are, see, if this is the Shivaliks and this is the lesser Himalaya, so this is known as Dans. Okay, this valley is known as Dans, and we are aware of certain Dans, example Dehradun. So you can see one thing common in every name, Kotli Dan, Patli Dan. So these are the Dans, plus a prefix is being attached to them, that is Dan. Now talking about the Himalayas, it is also divided on the basis of the regions, and from west to east, okay, but they have also been divided by the rivers. So we have seen the regions from west to east. Now it is being divided by the river valleys also. For example, the part of Himalaya lying between Indus and Satluj has been traditionally known as Punjab Himalaya. See, now this is the Himalaya, and if suppose this is the river that is flowing, so this part is known as Punjab Himalaya, okay, because the river Satluj and Indus, it is between the river Satluj and Indus. So traditionally, if we talk about the name traditionally, it will known as Punjab Himalaya, but if we talking about the regionally, it is known as Kashmir. Okay, so you can see that the division is also on the basis of the rivers also, and Himachal, Himalaya from west to east respectively. So we can say that there are the names. Now the part of Himalaya lying between Satluj and Kali rivers is known as Kumano. Now again class, this is the Himalaya, and suppose here is the river is flowing, here is the, so this part, okay, is known as Kumano Himalayas, because it is lying between the river Satluj and river Kali. Kali is also the name of the river, and we call it as Kumao Himalayas. Next, the Kali and Telsa rivers demarcated the Nepal Himalayas, and the part lying between Telsa and Dihang river is known as Assam Himalayas. So again, just because of the rivers, we are having different name, and the rivers Telsa and Dihang, the part which is lying is known as Assam Himalayas. Now there are regional names also in these broad the Himalayas. The Brahmaputra mark the eastern boundary of the Himalayas. So suppose class, this is the Himalayas, the boundaries they are going there. So the river Brahmaputra mark the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas. Beyond the Dihang Gorge, the Himalayas blend sharply to the south and spread along the eastern boundary of the India. They are known as the Purvanchal or Eastern Himalayas and mountains. So class, talking about the Purvanchal, they are sharply to the south spread and towards the eastern boundary of the India. So sharply towards the south and towards the eastern boundary of India, and these Himalayas, like if they are very sharp and towards the eastern boundary of India, they are known as the Purvanchal or the eastern hills and the mountains. So you can call them as Purvanchal, or you can call them the eastern hills and mountains. Okay, So class, please make sure that you study the ranges of Himalaya. They are really important. Please make sure you study them. Okay, read the NCERT and read it thoroughly and complete the work on time. Thank you.